listening to the Law Enforcement Pirate Radio Network. Radio Free Larry presiding.
You can run, but you can't hide.
Radio Free Larry.
All right, here we go again. Buckle up, rough roads ahead. It looked like it was a combination. I had fixed the power issue before it went kaput. It looked or may have compromised my VPN. So I had to switch VPN and all that stuff. Because it requires a good connection. And you can make it look like there's a connection while blocking the VPN. And there's a lot of click in here. I don't know how that's happening, but that's okay. So now they're cursing me. So and don't mistake divine providence with people cursing you. CIA game. That's the federal game. That's the state game. That's the local game. Because your life is failing, that you didn't work hard. Because your life is failing, you're a sinner. When they're the biggest sinners, they're like Trump. Trump is gonna be loved by God. He's so rich. Oh yeah, Jesus said that. My God, are rich people. I mean, wouldn't you be afraid of that? Wouldn't you, at a certain point, wouldn't you be like, okay, I love Trump, I love what he stands for, but I got to get away from that. I don't want to go to hell. Because, you know, that's pure mark of the beast. Oh, but at least we're pure, right? Supreme race, sick hell. So again, there was a Patriot meeting, and they all got into a fight because the one Patriots showed up that were racist, but they were saying they were the feds. I mean, it could be. I looked at them. They could be feds, but I don't think they're feds. We just turned around and left. And as far as blocking their faces from being seen, I guess that's legal. You know, they do it in raids, and they do it some other places where it's sensitive that they not be seen. But I think it's just some schmucks. Some hapless schmucks. I got stuck in it. So again, I don't know in the Marshal Service anything. I don't know how much was said or how much was missed. I didn't feel like listening through it. Actually, I did, but they blocked it. So I don't feel like listening through it now. I'm reading all their twists and turns. Again, they don't have to micromanage each thing. They just have to project enough curses, and then it takes over. But in my life, they pretty much micromanage it so they can destroy me. But, yeah, they're out there causing PTSD, causing disability, and they get off on it. They're narcissists, man. Sicko narcissists. Sicko psychopaths. So it's a pretty neat trick, right? You create the criminals, and you get money from the other criminals that are the real criminals, and you create other criminals out of people. Again, if we look at Project Artichoke, the people that they believe are less intelligent in life, but if you look what they do to their life to make that happen, it has nothing to do with intelligence. It has to do with those that are causing it being narcissists, psychopaths, sociopaths, criminally operating spycraft at a CIA level of operation. So then they say, well, we know where the criminal is. Well, we found the criminal. Well, how did they find the criminal? They made the criminal. Remember, the word made in law enforcement means you make the case. You made somebody out to be the criminal. You figured it out is what it essentially is, or you figured out who it was. But when you go back to this plain English, you made the criminal? You telling us you made the criminal? So you see, God marked them for years before they even, I guess they were doing it back then too. They drive around people, put spells on them, and psychologically torture them, restrict their lives. Oh, because we're keeping you all safe. So the psychology they're using in Pasco County in Florida and everywhere else is bullshit. It's the highest level of bullshit. We call it fabricated statements. But they also have a certain level of violation of rights under color of law and some other things in there, because what they're doing is manipulating the system, the computer. They all know how to do this. They manipulate. Oh, I didn't choose that person to harass. The computer did. But they all know what to feed into the computer. They know to get rid of the exculpatory information. They just feed the bullshit, enlarge the bullshit into the computer. And then not say that anybody's doing anything around the person. Again, they'll have people operating the individual and say it's not happening. Again, informant funds have been abused beyond anything anybody can imagine. They use it to build their own spycraft criminal army. They pay one informant $1,000, tell him to take $500 or tell her to take $500 and pay somebody that's off the books to do something. Did not use alcoholics and drug users. I mean bad ones. All day high, all day drunk. There's no way to track the people that aren't part, or they aren't part of the system, or aren't officially part of the system. They're getting money on the side. This explains, and I didn't care. I mean, I'm a hard worker. I was a sapper and all that. This explains the Marshal Service, their treatment of me. I go in, this individual, and we do this big project. Now, I'm a somewhat junior guy, but it's only because it's a smaller office that people don't change out too quick. So I'm like, okay, I'm the junior guy when it happened, but, on this project. And I come in on weekends. I remember being in there with my children on, I think it was funny because it was Martin Luther King Day. And the marshal was black and he was in. And we were both working projects. But I was there with my kids, watching my kids, and I was working on the presentation. Actually went for, I guess, a couple congressmen or something like that. So I was working on this project. Come in all these extra days, working late nights, and they go, hey, we're going to give you a day off for that. Oh, that's great. And not that I care, but, everybody else getting cash awards and all that kind of stuff. Here's your day off. Again, when you didn't take it to fruition and protect me. So again, I want to say when and you're blocking the name. To hell with them. It's a pretty big block. Wanted me to Robin Gritz. So when Robin Gritz said that they did not protect her, I'm like, oh, that's what I say. So I knew that, it was true, that they unprotected her. Now, she isn't going to tell you everything that I'm going to tell you. And didn't and won't. I can't imagine an FBI agent being that honest about what actually is going on. I think it's what they teach them in college. Because everybody that's ever went to a real college is part of the system, and they may have went through something. Again, it's not what everybody else goes through that they kill. Like all those suicides in school, all the people that fail out, not all, but most of those are being operated. Now, of course, it's metaphysical also. So it's just metaphysical. So again, they're creating these people. And they're squirrels, man. They have no sense of right or wrong in reality. And they're just like, I guess they call them Karens now. And again, they want to make me a Karen. I'm not a Karen. I'm responding to what's actually happening. You want me to say F you? I'll say that. You're all disgusting. You're all dirty beyond any dirt that has ever existed. So again, the idea is this: create criminals so your going to look great arresting them because you're going to know where the criminal is. And of course, not everybody becomes a criminal. Well, that's the idea. that some people don't become criminals. So the ones that do, I fought being a criminal so hard I became disabled. That's how it works, all of you. God told me there's criminals. You just watch their life. They commit a heinous crime because the system, they're part of the system that I'm speaking about. But somebody ends up arresting them because they may not be in the know or whatever it is. They end up arresting them. They go into prison. They spend a few years walking on a track and playing what's that? What is it? The wall ball and stuff like that. Then they come out. They had all the perfect dentistry. They block my dentistry, believe me. They put people in where I get my dentistry done so they can fuck my head while I'm sitting in the chair. The hells they're going to have not even been imagined in anybody's worst nightmares. So you see the difference between when Jesus was here and what's happening now. So can you imagine that? You go and sit in the chair and some dude's passive aggressive you and trying to trigger you because he's getting paid some shitty FU money from a marshal, from a U.S. Marshal, from an FBI person, from their crony that's retired running a PI firm. That's not because I said anything. Not at all. That's what they say once they get you to say something. Again, they're drugging people also at the same time. But God said, watch them. They'll come out of jail and they'll have a wonderful life. And they're a child molester. And they're a rapist. And they're a murderer and other things. They go, well, yeah, us cops are against that. Bullshit. You're against it when they tell you to be against it. And you're for it when they tell you to be for it. Yeah, it's called criminal enterprise. Racketeering, organized crime, fabricated statements, deprivation of rights under color of law. So is that a neat trick, though? Well, we'll go back to that. Oh, we found the criminal. Oh, you're the greatest investigator on earth. Meanwhile, that person is a criminal spycraft operator. They criminally operate spycraft, psychological torture in victims' lives. And then when there's a crime in a certain area, they go back to the people that they've been working for 5, 10, 20, 30 years. And they work them again. See, even if the person isn't a criminal, so they come back into the community and go, well, we'll investigate a little bit more. Let's look around. And what they're doing is they're torturing people into crime while they're doing it. So they find somebody like who? Omar Mateen in a Pulse nightclub. And all the Christians in the Republic go, see, God did that. No, the FBI did that with CIA. I mean, at a minimum, it's reckless, but I think it was intended for Omar Mateen to be that type of criminal. See, so it's that same thing, but it's happening in varying crimes: rape, murder, child molestation. They're into it, man. Make it over here so we can get the people off the hook over there. This is really what's happening. And all the little rookie officers driving around the next in Overland Park. I want to be something someday. Well, you going to jail because now you're a rapist. You're going to be somebody, all right. Oh, no, a little bit of burp there. That grossed me. So again, let's not forget that when they pontificate all day. So again, they're being trained up to be criminals. That's really what's happening here. When task forces come through, when the Fed calls, when the state guy that does the psychological stuff calls, they're figuring out who's going to be the next criminal in government or the criminal boss in government. Could be your chief. I don't know. You know, when I come into town, chiefs shudder because they've been criminals their whole life, but not all chiefs, of course. So I did some research online, and my friend would benefit from calling the shelters first or calling the programs first, because they actually, this is one of a great one there, that there is a program for disabled people, first-time buyers, and I think they also do it for non-first-time buyers, but it's not as as a prevalent program, where they'll get you a mortgage. So that's Connecticut. I don't think she'd qualify that because she doesn't have enough income, but it looks like they're focused on disabled people. And the whole thing is what it says. Again, sometimes I receive without ever reading it or, not knowing about it. The whole thing is, again, it says get into the system, work through the system, and then we get them somewhere. And again, I'm sure the senator can hear me, or the senator's people. I'm sure of that. And they might project something. And they don't have to know for us to have a conversation in the mind or project back and forth. They don't have to know anything. It's kind of how the world's supposed to work when we're not blocked. So again, they're blocking my life so hard I can't get through it. But the other stuff they don't know about, like, because they're stalking. So, okay, Moore bought this, curse that. Moore bought that, curse that. Moore's talking to this person, curse that. And if it curse doesn't work, all right, get the informant funds out. And their informants get drunk and high all day, go, yeah, Moore did this. And they don't care because they're not taking it to trial. All they have to do is put it on paper so they can have some more time to mess up my life. But again, what they're using through these informants is psychological torture, psychological warfare techniques, not to protect children, to unprotect children, so that they can come in and say, well, you need us. It's a Ponzi scheme. It's a scam. It's every imaginable grifter type operation you could ever think of. Oh, it's bail reform. Put Trump in. So it doesn't matter. Like I said, they're all devils. Doesn't matter what political party's in. Welchers and devils. Welchers and devils. So what's this guy's name? No, not Flip Wilson. Go away. They want me to speak about something, and I won't. That's why they brought up Flip Wilson. So again, it's amazing I can speak this because nobody else will. So I found a place, but it looks like it's too expensive because it's like defeats the purpose of moving into an apartment. I can't get back to, having a little bit of extra money in the apartment and doing something, in life, just sitting in there going, I mean, it's a great apartment. I really love it. And if I would have received my additional funding from Oklahoma VA, like I should have been found 100% disabled, actually. And I should have received 100% disability from the VA. It's just how the world works, all of you. Just because you want to focus on my life, and, if you have sensitive ears, I've been known to use real words that everybody uses in the world that you pretend that you'd never heard before. But if you focus on fucking someone, just because you focus on fucking someone doesn't mean that the real world doesn't have prevalence in that person's life as far as judging the world and judging all of you. Again, it's a very big world. It's much more difficult to take it down today than it was in the day of Jesus. But we're getting there. Do I like Putin? No. Am I a socialist? No. But I'll use them. Again, I'm not a socialist, but I believe in socialism when people, the only other choice is capitalistic cronyism. And it's not really capitalism, it's cronyism. They're just passing money back and forth to screw everybody else and to commit crimes against everybody else and exonerate themselves. Again, federal law enforcement, state law enforcement, local law enforcement is all part of that. And again, if you're in there as an officer not doing it, then you got something to worry about, because one day you'll be confronted with that. You either do it or they put you out or kill you. There's very few choices. Lady. See, I know people. They don't know me because I'm with God. She might know me. This is how it works. I'll say something like, how you doing? And I go, like, this woman here hates it, but it's the government trying to get me to stop from speaking naturally because that's how people know I'm the inside guy. Because I know God will set it up, not me. Because I don't even think about it. It just happens, and I can tell. Oh, that person knows me. I heard you. That's what they say sometimes. Or I hear you. And I know it can be neutral, but it's also an inside thing. That's where it comes from. EYE, hear you. So I hear you means somebody hears you inside, spiritually, metaphysically. But it doesn't always mean that because people say that don't know what it means. But they might. Again, people that are asleep can hear subconsciously, and they can. It's funny because they can speak out without knowing. So my retirement had really nothing to do with me owing anybody anything. I'll tell you that. So again, these marshals, he owes us with a retirement. F you and F the marshal that tried to block it. I'll tell you the truth. The marshal's going straight to hell. Oh, we saved so many people. So again, it's that game that the Bible speaks about. Again, I hate using the word game because that's what they use. It's a criminal enterprise. And the crimes are so heinous that we generally don't even call it a crime because it's used for combat. And it's what's called spycraft, psychological warfare, psychological torture. But again, supposedly we don't use psychological torture. And then if I bring it up, they go, oh, he's a thug hugger. Well, if you all were right, we never would have had these problems in these elongated wars. Look, I have the inside that I can't tell you about. There's very little I know that's top secret, but that probably is at this point. Or I classified it myself. I don't think it's probably not. What I know is probably not top secret, but it's not. I draw the line at saying that part. But again, it was all avoidable. When everybody's dozing off in their foxhole, I'm out there with a night vision scope. So again, I don't need to hear from any of you chicken shit pieces of garbage. They all sold the fucking nation out. What garbage? I'm going to patrol a bit. I'll be out front. I know I only had a limited combat experience, but it went well, didn't it? It wasn't only me. I was one of the kings. And like that guy, I tell you, the guy with the beard. I never saw anybody in the military with a beard. I was like, I mean, a long, Arabic beard. He comes by in an APC, and I'm asleep. Years later, I wake up, God brings him up my head. He was a king, and you're a king. That's why that went so well. One of God's kings. Can an Islamic person be one of God's kings? Oh, no, because Trump's going to be president. Yes, of course he could. Why? Because who are you to tell God what he does with his servant? Well, the only servants are the ones that are in our church and that vote for Trump. Everybody else is not a servant to God. Thank you. So again, that's what was happening there. Kind of dehydrating here a bit. Now, you chose that you wanted to try to psychologically torture me and trigger PTSD. You effed up, all of you, not me. Read Luke Luke 10, and you'll see I came into your community perfect. So again, I turned some child porn on another thing on. Get out of here! And that's a statement. Get out of here! Obviously. I turned some child porn in on Twitter, and it's. I didn't check it recently, but I turned it in, gave it like I don't even know, maybe a couple hours, and it's still there. Now this is the problem with child porn. They're going to say it's not child porn. Now, could the person be 18? Yes. But it didn't look to me. It looked like 16, 18. So you have to prove it's child porn or it has to be absolutely obvious. So that could be a problem. Well, you could say the person's 18, but I would say it's 16, 18. Thank you. Now, the way they curse me, you're lucky I can speak. That's one of their curses. They sit there all day. They do. I mean, it's been for at least 30 years. I mean, if I'd have known anything tomorrow service, they wouldn't have been able to do this to me, and I probably would have only been in that office a couple of years, and I've been gone. Like some other people didn't survive. I actually got sheriff's department jobs when they retired. All right, so it's a nice day here in Kansas compared to most. It's the breeze. That's what we need, is that cool breeze. So that's probably the difference between here and Oklahoma. Although it's cooler here, we don't have as much breeze. So it's pretty stale air, and it just everything falls apart. Everybody's like, striker! So I don't know where I'll be living. I'm looking for a change, and it's not because I think she might be a snitch. I don't know what she is, because she's just stupid. She's just talking shit all day, and I don't want to hear it anymore. But again, I don't want to be in my room either, so it's a combination of everything. Maybe time to head up the road, but I don't know. I'm not going to Colorado Springs. I need physical therapy first. And if I don't go, I might not go because it doesn't make sense for a shorter period of time. I mean, if you know, the problem is I can't. I don't think with getting massage and all that. If I could get into the place I'm looking at, it would probably be marvelous. It's a very nice setup. Now they're willing me to fall down, get dizzy and fall down. They really are. That's what they do all day. They're sickos. It's only you. No, it's not only me. It's everybody else that had that happen to them in their life. That's how it all works. Everything's perfect until they get involved. You mean people wouldn't age? No, we'd age like RFK. Because we'd all get growth hormones like I tried to get into about 15 years ago, but it's too much blocks, too much psychological operation, and you just can't follow through. Again, it has nothing to do with me. It has to do with them spending millions of dollars and, in reality, hundreds and hundreds of people. They say no, but they say no not for good reasons. Again, when I say they say, oh, we say no because we're protecting everyone. No, they're committing crimes and they're narcissists. Sadists, I guess they call it sadists. Yeah. Or sadomasochist. Yeah, they're sadists. Haven't used sadomasochist in a long time. I have to remember what each one means. Yeah, that's a legal muffler in my ass. Wait, let me kill my ass. I'm trying to get in there again. And that's what they do. They will me to have anal sex with a man. They will me. I was bringing this up earlier. George Michael was willed and cursed and most likely operated to give oral sex to men, strange men in a bathroom. They project that at me all the time. So again, that's your government. That's your churches. That's your conservatives and some of the liberals. Don't think it's the other way around where it's only a few Republicans. It's as truthful as when I told what is that guy's name? Michael, was it Michael? Odell, or whatever, State Representative Odell, I think his name was, that hit came to you from the Republican Party. They're making it look like it's a Democrat. So, like, the people that say that everybody else is a sheeple are actually being manipulated. That's the funniest thing on earth. They walk around calling everybody else a sheeple, and they're all being manipulated to be idiots. So a new day has come. We still got the NE3 die license plate. It actually says NE3D1E, but it says NE3 die. So the psychological program they use with the could cause, and it's not based upon who the person is. It's based upon how they operate them. Any spy will tell you that, because they can make you feel good about anything, and you could look at it and not have any effect, or or feel euphoric about any 3 dying, and then the person goes out and kills 3 people. That license plate could have caused like multiple murders over the years, and that's where it came from. That's how sick these people are, because they wire the person to see it that way, while knowing what's on the plate. Now they're trying to fear me. We're going to arrest you any moment now. We're going to swoop in. Actually, we're going to swoop in. So again, what they're using on me is being used on people that have no clue, and no military experience, no knowledge of, figuring anything out. No God with them to help them. Can't hear, can't see. And that's causing these crimes. And it's even being operated when they're children on their big wheel. Again, I don't hate the person that said it, but I know what kind of people are in the government, and they have the same mindset, but they're devils. I don't think the person that said it was a devil, but look at that kid on a big wheel. He's going to be, we'll be arresting him in 6 years or something like that. But that's a curse on that kid if you push the will, wanting it to come true beyond natural course. And that's part of the problem. Well, of course, he was black on a big wheel. That means you're going to be arrested in 6 years for being a criminal. I mean, that's how bad it is. I'm not joking. That happened. Now, once I understood what the system was and what was actually happening, I was like, oh my God, that statement means something. Oh no, everything's on the up and up. They have just the same chance. They don't physically, psychologically, or metaphysically have the same chance because of what you're all doing to them. Whew, what a day. So I was getting out and walking a little bit today, but not much. But it was beautiful when I take a couple laps or something around, and it's a beautiful day. Wish I could get away from this highway. That's the one thing I didn't want to be, is like live off the highway again, which is really where that other place is if I would move to it. Well, it's not. It's actually further from the highway, I think, than this row, but it's down in a valley. Yeah, what's up?
Waiting for a sign to reads?
Am I waiting? No, I'm not waiting for anything. I'm just broadcasting. You looking for a room or something?
No, just looking for somebody to order Uber Eats.
But is it a room number?
204.
404?
204.
Oh, 204. That's building 2.
Okay.
And it's probably, I can't be sure. I think it might be on the other side. Right. I'm the guy that helps the delivery people. But again, that's a thankless job. A lot of them do get harmed, or not a lot, but a certain portion. I respect people, especially people that are retirement age and they're doing that. So again, I was a retiree that respected people that didn't have retirement the whole time I was here. I got some guy that's working here. He's like really conscientious. He's just like Larry. That's their Larry. I'll have to heal him because he'll be cursed somewhere in life by people that are lazy. Might already be underway. That's the only way they now get ahead. They're all lazy pieces of shit. Ignorant, lazy pieces of shit. Ignorant, lazy, nasty pieces of shit. That's what's in the government. And that's how they get ahead, by killing people for the CIA and any other spycraft criminal out there that's in with that stuff. If they were actually doing it to protect people, we would have less crime instead of more crime. So again, it's pretty much BS. The whole world, everybody knew it was fake, but they put that out there just so you go, well, you know it's fake, right? So it's a big deal, right? We just, it's not what he says, of course, but it's fake, right? They gotta do that spin in the mind. The church decided to join it. Of course, they're not taking the mark of the beast because they're doing God's work, like Boobart and Greenie Weenie. Nothing sexual there. If you see it sexual, then that's you. It's all on all of you. But again, this is what I wanted to say today. Thanks, God. We got me walking around and talking long enough so that I can get back to what I was going to talk about this morning. God, now we're deciding what I would speak about. They're still killing my mind for it. Okay, so what is Christian nationalism? It's a BS spycraft movement, so you think that they're the only ones that are that type of threat. So if you're not a Christian nationalist, then you're not a threat, right? The reality is this. Jesus, Paul, never wanted anybody Christian to think the government of God was physical, like you take over a nation's government. Because that's Caesar. So you're not rendering unto Caesar's, you're rendering what is God's unto Caesar. And rendering Caesar's unto God. So again, I brought this up for years and they probably try to kill me for it, but it has to be said, you're not to cross the streams. The fundamental Baptists, they're lies. There's no independent church. They're all part of something. And that's okay. That's health. But of course, when you cause other people to be not part of that, not letting them enter in, and not fully entering in yourself. So that's actually a paradoxical statement. When you do not allow others to enter in, then you're obviously not entering in yourself. See how easy the Bible really is when God's here. Which tree are you in, God? Where are you? God's in a tree here. I know it. The tree of life is very interesting, and that's coming up a lot. Again, they'll say, "Oh, that's superstition." Okay, Christian, we'll vote for Trump, and then it won't be superstition, right? Wait a minute, is that voice God? Of course it is. I can't do that on my own. I don't have that kind of talent. They were saying, "Who said you were talented? Get him!" We zapped Satan. All right, God, which tree you hiding? Is it this one? Kind of looks, but it doesn't have God in it. Looks like a tree of life, but it can't be. It's dead. Spiritually dead trees. I know God's around here somewhere. Okay, God is everything. God is every molecular atom that exists. It can't exist without God. How does anything have a life without God? It just can't. Face it, Christian. Stop telling yourself something else. I can't find God. I can't find God. I must be lost. Maybe God's lost. God to earth, God to earth. We can see him. We know him. Her, it, whatever he is today. All right, I'm not going to seek after that sign anymore, but it's not really a sign. I'm just trying to see if I can find God hidden somewhere here. Oh, okay. God just revealed it. I'm in the cross you're holding more. I'm like right in front of your face, next to your phone. God's amazing, believe me. I wish you just let me live a good life. It doesn't be a great life, just even a good life. Like, I don't even know I have more money than a poor man. Because a life starts with life, liberty, happiness, that kind of thing. So again, that's actually coming from. No, Trump isn't interested in life, liberty, happiness. He works just a deep state, a conservative deep state of spies. F him and F all of you for even suggesting it. You're all for sale to the highest bidder with Trump. Believe me, that man is so addicted to money, it's disgusting. I mean, it's never enough for that piece of shit. But again, he's just like everybody else in government. They do the same thing. So apparently somebody couldn't find somebody to give them their drink. They left it on the counter. Got around their van. 209 had to be here. I guess he probably knocked and nobody answered. Hope nobody drinks that drink. Who knows what's in it. But, I mean, if it was a delivery, that's one thing. I mean, you don't really. I'm so amazed that people do DoorDash. I mean, thank God that they do. People have money, but boy, that's a spycraft dream. You order DoorDash. So I think really my friend was addicted to fast food by them. Now, there's things in her life that move that forward, or even restaurant food. So they could drug her. And she wouldn't stop even if she thought it was drugged. Again, they're moving spycraft over an extended period of time, torturing the victim, drugging the victim. It exists everywhere. I don't want to hear it's nowhere. But they can also elicit the hypnotic effect, moving psychological manipulation at a level of psychological torture, but it doesn't have to be psychological torture because they can overstimulate, understimulate, isolation also. I guess that's psychological torture. So, right. I don't know. I feel like, you know what? It's this weather. I feel like I'm like at Fort Riley in the woods. It's the weather. I'm like, what's going on? I'm here like, like having lots of crickets and stuff. I'm like, what is going on here? Flashbacks. Fort Riley. That's where they trained McVeigh to blow up buildings. But he used, I think he used the anarchist cookbook or something to do it. So, again, the government has partial responsibility for that because I didn't think it was a good idea as a military member training infantry people in that type of thing. That's just something we didn't do. I was surprised in Desert Storm when we gave the infantry people C4. They gave us, what did they give us? They gave us grenades or something. it was like MASH 4077. right before G-Day, we're like, they open it back at the armored vehicles and, they give us some grenades and we give them some, explosives and I was like, what? The NCO looked pretty cool, like you could handle it. So I'm like, yeah. But when we started doing that, I mean, I just do what I'm told. I didn't train him, but I think one of our companies did, because each person or each group was responsible for a specific brigade, I think it was. So we trained up, I think it was 3rd Brigade, 1st Infantry Division, and field expedient explosives, demolitions. Actually, field expedient demolitions, we didn't use any field expedient explosives. So I think it was our Charlie company that trained him. I don't know. I mean, it was, you know, like a week, and I think each one was. So I don't know how much they would retain. That's maybe why I think they had the anarchist cookbook, but he probably got his idea from us. But, you know. It's like when we were in Korea, we had to turn over a certain project responsible for blowing something up. And we gave it to the infantry while we went out for some training exercise. I forget what it was. But we stopped by the DMZ, and we turned it over to the infantry, and Lieutenant came back from his part of it. He goes, I don't think they realize. It was a dead man's mission. As soon as you go, you and the, you know, there'd be like I think it was an NCO, and I think just me, wasn't it? Or it was maybe one other soldier, but I was like the demo guy under the bridge. And then like the with the explosives. The thing is, there's so many things targeting that it doesn't even matter. Yeah, just all in Korea, all the bridges will be gone. There's like 5 different ways that they blow them up. If that ever if North Korea comes across DMZ in force, all those bridges go, and there's no way to stop it. So I mean, we would just die anyway. Even if we, you know, if we fail blowing up, we'd have like an F-16 come in, blow us up. I was expendable at the major. I had a very big responsibility, and they actually gave it to me. So the lieutenant came back from the meeting. He was like, I don't think they understand. No, the safe distance is like, I don't know, like 5 miles or something. I don't know. And the bunker's like maybe a 1/4 mile. Now there's probably even more scientific stuff. Right. Like artillery, frick, or a bombing run of, you know, engineers. It's probably Jewish space lasers nowadays. They're gonna, there's no way that they're gonna walk across or drive across any of those bridges. I mean, it would take some major lapse of something for that to happen. I don't think it's not even possible. I mean, you know, you can't stop an F-16 or whatever they're using now. And those artillery units, they practice like every day. Or not every day, but they frequently practice, and they shoot these like islands or wherever it is. They fire near the targets, and so they zero it in. So they know exactly that they're zeroed in. So all I have to do is crank it whatever left or right so far, and then boom. I don't even think it's probably not even that anymore. It's like beep, 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 beep. I forgot. It's like modern stuff. GPS, you know. Beep, 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 beep. And it goes, beep. They started having that stuff before I got out of the military, but when I started, they did. Like I got this camera with night vision, and like I had night, like I was telling you, night vision. I had night vision at Fort Campbell, so that's like what after it was after Sapper course probably. So it was like 19. Let me see. Probably sometime late 1986. And I had night vision, and I detected the Ranger, Aegis Ranger that was doing the evaluation. I was the same way in Desert Storm, and and not before, but I did finally fall asleep. I mean, I was the only one awake for like ever. I fell asleep for a couple hours. I was crushed. I was like, from G-Day to whenever it was, and then all of a sudden I fall asleep for a couple hours. All of a sudden somebody's stepping on my face. Hands! Show us your hands! Hands up! I'm like Arkansas hillbilly. Like, what? Because we had already gone through tank battles and all sorts of stuff, and drove on past all the all the wreckage and everything, and all the depleted uranium. We're on our way to the smoke in the oil fields. But like right after that, I think that morning, because I told you the night before, that's when I saw that guy with the beard, and then we had another tank battle in there. Before that, maybe, or after that, I can't remember. But so all the Bradley fighting vehicles go in reverse. Oh, let me get back to that. So I had this not sniper scope, this night vision scope, and I'm creeping through the woods, and I caught the Ranger evaluator sneaking up. I was like, what, what's going on? Something's going on out there. I'm going out front. I actually had that capability. So we're creeping along, and I don't think anything was going on to the front, except that we were a lot of movement. We had a lot of movement, and we were going forward, and the Bradley fighting vehicles, all of a sudden they go in reverse, like high rated speed, right? I'm like, what the hell's going on? We're just like, we're in a little Vietnam era 113. Loaded with explosives. We're like, what do they call them? AHA. They used to call them the AHA. It was like we were like a AHA, just enough explosives to and we're all inside of our track, and we just keep going forward and reverse, and all of a sudden come up front, and all of a sudden bam, 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 and I'll just get off. And went through to the morning till like we were there till like. Wait, I think we moved. Right, we were moving forward, and then we moved into a wood line or something. At some point, we moved into a wood line, or not a wood line. I guess it can't be. What did we move into? What it was. Moved somewhere to get some cover. So it may have been like a ravine or something. I don't know. We were moving into something to get cover. All I remember is we were kind of behind something, and then it was like bam, bam, everything kicked off again. But when morning came, Star Spangled Banner, we were still there. They weren't. And I did have a flag up on my mast. I'm meaning to give that to somebody, like and it was probably the first flag, you know, where it's only just water right to spade my that I know of. That's the way you're supposed to answer this federal agent. and a military person. Right, so, well, because that's really what you say, because you could have done. Actually, if you're too sure, you might be guilty. So that was probably the first flag into Iraq. Actual flag, you know, flying in the wind. We went in at the front, we were the breach element, and everybody else took their flags down, if I remember correctly. Moore said, "No, that's too much." So it's most likely. It's definitely the first. It's definitely the first infantry division, the first infantry division, or 7th Corps. I would say it's the first 7th Corps flag, U.S. flag into Iraq. But it was a little one. It was up on the radio mast. But it could actually have been the first one completely of anybody in the U.S. Army. So yeah, we drove through all the depleted uranium on the way to the oil fields. That's why this whole no Persian syndrome it's absolute deep state, spycraft, criminal government employee, private sector criminal bullshit. Well, that's it. I gotta go drink some water. Dehydrating here. You can feel it. And then when we got to the oil fields, that's when the tankers got out of the tracks with their. I kept staying on the 50 cal. They got out with their pistolas, and they put it in the back of the head. And pulled the trigger. They just said, "No, don't move." And then we dispersed and all that. We pulled them all up on this berm, and we started feeding them whatever MREs we had left over and stuff. And then they were like, "You're nicer than we would have been. We would have killed you." Actually said that to us, which was nice of them, right? Being honest. And then I think it was her. I think it was a female medic that died because she stepped. And I think it was her, but I'm not sure. I forgot why I thought it was her. Maybe it was the location that it happened. I'm not sure. But a female medic comes up, and we're like, "Oh, it's a woman." That's the way it used to be. Now it gets women in there. So a female medic shows up after we've been in the desert for I don't know how long in all male units, you know. And we're like, "Oh, it's a woman." Well, I mean, it's natural, you know. Be amazed. But she was real professional, and she did a great job. She got a call somewhere, and when she got the call, she got in the track, and I was where it was, but I can't remember what made me think it was that. Who's this dude sitting here in his truck with his headlights on? People have to sleep in here. Not really in my room, but the other rooms. All right, stay peaceful. Praise God in all that you do. Praise